$400 million. That's how much this man generated online over the last few years. Brandon Fink is someone that I finally got on the podcast. We connected over on Instagram, and I think this podcast is one of the greatest podcasts that we've ever done, yet one of the best podcasts on YouTube for any e-commerce seller. We went super in depth on strategies that you should be using in your e-commerce brands and stores in 2022 and beyond. He is a husband and a father of 6 beautiful children, someone that you should definitely be looking up to and someone that I definitely do. I think you're gonna really love this interview. So if you do get any value at all, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe for more videos, and enjoy this amazing podcast. Oh, and by the way, at the end of this video, we went ahead and asked him about how he stays so focused. He dropped some pointers on how to actually get things done in this crazy world of social media, confusion, and craziness. Using these tips in this video will definitely help you get your business to the next level and maybe even making somewhat the figures he's making online. Enjoy. Crazy morning for both of us. Brandon, what's good, bro?
What's up, guys?
Brandon, in 30 seconds, tell us about you, some of the results you've been getting. What exactly do you do?
So biggest highlight wins for me probably is like Discovery Channel, Caterpillar, $400 million of tracked rev in media. And, currently right now we have a agency, Weekend Digital, and we manage about $10 million a month to spend between Facebook, TikTok, and Google. So
Fire. So mainly in the e-commerce world.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So you said $400 million in revenue?
Yeah, tracked. Yep, that we can track directly from like ads I ran personally. So yeah.
That is wild. So definitely if you guys are watching this right now, you're learning from someone who has the results you want. And that's so important. Awesome stuff. So you primarily, I guess, sell products online, right? Do you do other services, digital stuff, or mostly just e-commerce?
So I got my start in 2016 with Jeremy Haynes. If people's kind of popular name in the info space world. My first year with him, we managed like $25 million in ad spend. So I came into I walked into my media career like literally account spending 40 grand a day. Wow. He's kind of like one of the main guys for Grant Cardone back in the day that got him started off. And I walked into some really big accounts starting off. So I got my start in digital info space. But yeah, since 2017, I've been 95%. I mean, obviously like running an agency, personal brands, etc. Like for people that are in our agency, I run the info for the agency and for the agency accounts. But other than that, yeah, we're 100% e-com.
Love that. So e-com, tell us why you love the e-com model and where do you see it going?
So the reason I like e-commerce so much is like, I love both. I love both. I love personal brands and e-commerce because there's like the lifetime value. Mm-hmm. So once you understand your lifetime value for your brand, right? So like, for example, we have a brand, I Am Becoming, where we have a front end offer that makes no sense. People don't understand how we do it. We do it through the economies of scale. So we can get really cheap cost of goods. We make $10 profit per order. We're spending $20 on our Facebook purchases for this. Wow. It's 5 shorts for $30. It's a crazy deal, right?
Wow.
But we're doing that because we have the economies of scale working with us. And I understand that in the first 45 days, we have 2 for 22 Tuesdays and we have mystery box Saturdays. So every Saturday we craft a new mystery box for existing customers. Every Tuesday we have a new collection that's 2 for 22 on the site. And each of those nets us about $10 profit. And when we run those on the back end of the store. So when people come into our brand, this is one example again, we're able to get 2.2 purchases out of somebody once they come in day one in the next 45 days. So we're getting roughly $20 in profit in the next 45 days when we get one customer comes in. So therefore, we have the economies of scale working with us, which is why we can spend $20,000, $30,000 a day consistently, profitably, where we're losing, every single day, $10 with all the new purchases we get, but over the next 45 days, we're making roughly a $12 profit.
Right.
And then, just after the 45 days, you have Black Friday, etc. Mm-hmm. So I love really kind of figuring out the offer for the brand, understanding the lifetime value, and then being able to figure out how to, bring that lifetime value to a shorter time frame in the first 90 days if possible, and start scaling off of 90-day windows.
Right. And what are some main pointers that you can say for people who want to raise their AOV? Because most people in the dropshipping space, their AOV and the lifetime value are so important. I think lifetime value is something that people, I guess, overlook. And how would you say if someone has an e-commerce store right now, what are some actionable things that you can put into place right now to kind of get your lifetime value up?
Yeah. So lifetime value, I think, is way different than AOV. So for example, we're not really going for high AOV on our first order. Because like what you're really trying to do is like you want to get the customer to your product as fast as possible, have a really good experience, have a really good opening experience for the product, right?
Mm.
And have a good product. If you have a good product, then lifetime value is out the window, right? If you're dropshipping from China, it's going to be shitty time delays. It's going to be probably not the best product that you could have given the customer.
Mm.
So like you might want to go for your AOV on the front end
Right.
versus lifetime value with a brand, right? So it depends. Like if you're doing drop shipping, then going for AOV on the front end, the best thing you can do. If you have actual brand and you're actually like working on this experience and product, which we only work with brands at Weekend. So there, like all we're really focused on is like what's the best offer, what's going to get the highest conversion rates, what's going to get the most amount of customers into the door, and then we focus on the back end from there. So the easiest way and win for either or is like doing like one click upsell,
Mm.
post purchase upsells on apps for AOVs, and then bundles. Like if you're doing a lot of times, like if you don't have a bundle out of the gate, like for example, we have a men's belt company, and they sell single belts, but they're able to change out the belt buckles, etc. And we're able to make a box set. So now they come in, they can get 3 straps and 2 belt combo and 2 belt buckles, and it makes 6 belts instead of just like
Wow.
1 belt. But we're able to value prop that and have a bundle there. Like even if we have like car detailing, right? We have car detailing like in-house brand. When we are able to say, buy 1 full price, buy 2, or buy 2 get 1 free,
Mhm.
and then buy 2 get 3 free. It's more and more value as you bundle, so it helps like get that AOV up on the first time, but it can hurt you in the subscription business. Like subscriptions, the best thing for LTV.
Mhm.
So when you're doing subscriptions, you want to get like the highest conversion rate that you can get, and make sure you're not like stocking somebody up with like 6 things of
Right. Because they're not going to
sealant
eat it.
if you're like on a subscription, right? So like it really depends per brand, but those are kind of the main things like subscription, one click upsells, and then like really determining whether you're drop shipping or like actually building a real brand.
Right.
And if you're building a real brand, like focusing more so on your conversion rate
Mhm.
rather than AOV on the front end.
Right. What do you do to get your customers coming back? Is it just like your product
Dude,
itself?
right now it's SMS. SMS is number one. Email, I mean, email still works. Like email still 20% on most of our stores revenue.
Nice.
But SMS, I mean, the stores that we're doing 30% email and SMS revenue on, like your SMS blasts, like, we did one to 40,000 people on IAB on Easter. We did like $50,000, like almost $1 per SMS we sent.
Wow. That's crazy. Where are you collecting these SMS? Is it only at checkout or is it pop-ups also?
So we're starting to switch because we're seeing such a great response from SMS versus email now. So we're starting to kind of switch to having our like our pop-up on the store.
Mhm.
Like if you guys go to IAB.com, for example, IABMFG.com, you'll see like get your first pair of shorts for $9.99 and you put your phone number in. So we're having like, our main like exit intent flows are now SMS based and not email based.
Mm.
And so like, and what you can do there too is like you can have, and we're trying this out with stores too. Like, and what we're trying to do with the SMS is have the highest conversion rate possible, not the AOV. So maybe you're selling like phone chargers, for example, right? And like you sell 3 per order, but you're like, hey, try your first phone charger for $5 or $9, like a really low price, and you're gonna have a higher conversion rate on that versus your higher package AOV bundle, and you're gonna get like 10 times more phone numbers, right?
Wow. Right.
So it's like, hey, like, put your phone number in and we'll text you the promo code. That's the easiest way to get people to agree to give you a number is just to, put your phone number in and then you just have a automated flow where you text them the offer. So
I love that. That's awesome. Very, very smart. So you guys are really like taking the back end to a new level. And do you think that's like something that really makes you different and allowed you to be that 1% of e-commerce sellers? Or what do you think is that thing that allowed you to excel so fast?
Yeah, I mean, the back end's everything. I mean, even into your ad account, like with our ad account, we're very simplified on top of funnel, but our middle funnel and bottom funnels super simplified, but very complex. So Facebook ads, I'm assuming it's kind of a competency of like your viewership. So for example, we'll have a scaling campaign. Scaling campaign will be a 10% stack of purchases, 5 broad interest stack. Super simple. But our middle funnel, bottom funnel is going to be 90-day all website visitors. It's going to be 90-day social engagers, right? Mm-hmm. And those are stacked, but then we're duping those to different angles. So it's very broad. But then maybe you have like your best performing ads in one, and then you duplicate that again. You have user testimonials, you have unboxing videos, you have TikTok videos, you have Instagram reel placement only. So now what happens is we have like a 10% frequency or a 10x frequency, our middle funnel, bottom funnel. We're able to achieve 25 to 30% spend on average, where most people are spending 10% on middle funnel, bottom funnel, because like we're just killing people with content or different offers or different, just different things, discounts. Like you can really stack that up where you're having insanely high spend ratios, but people are seeing different types of content, and you're able to, especially with like higher, like office chairs or higher AOVs, will have 20x frequencies, and our middle funnel personal brands, especially like courses, are like
Right.
really really high, like 50% ad spend on middle funnel and bottom funnel. But it's
Right.
because you're going for all the angles where you're just throwing your best shit on top of funnel and then hitting them with all the different angles.
I love that.
That's
So you're really just like kind of going broad on the on the top funnel, right? And then after like for the retargeting, it depending on how expensive the product is and how much you could really spend to nail them, that's how much retargeting and frequency you're having. Is that what you're doing?
correct.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and then we're never running loyalty campaigns, so we're excluding all purchasers ever on our top of funnel and middle funnel.
Mm.
Because if you're spending money on loyalty, it's really hard to keep track now of like, okay, well, like I told you, like we have $20 in profit. Well, if I'm spending money on purchasers and existing customers,
Mhm.
like it skews that data,
Right.
right? Because like now you're actually spending money there, so you're like, well, is it really? I know I'm profitable if I'm losing $10 or $20 an order on the
Right.
front end in the first 45 days. But if I start spending money, so every time we do loyalty campaigns, is like Black Friday, big sales events, or sometimes we'll do it like for like subscription company where they have like a hero product, but then like let's say it's like a shaver, for example. We took a shaving company from 600K a month to 2.7 million a month in 1 month, like Father's Day last year. But like for them, we were running loyalty campaigns to like their their like lotions and like their like all that kind of shit that they weren't like like the products that it doesn't matter if they buy, rather than like the reoccurring products, right? So
Yeah.
there's a time and place for loyalty campaigns, but we're
That's
just finding it's way more profitable to get the SMS. So
I love that. So this is a question that I love to like ask people because it kind of gets people's brain moving and kind of gives like the audience's mind like, wow, like this is very doable. If you had, let's say, the next 90 days to create $1 million business in the next 2 minutes, how would you kind of game plan it? What would be your game plan?
no pay to do what now?
If you had 90 days to create $1 million brand, what would be the game plan in 2 minutes?
2 minutes. And I need $1 million brand.
Yeah.
What
Or
kind of
no,
budget?
it could be it
What
doesn't have to
kind
be a
of budget
brand.
do you have?
Let's say someone has 10 grand. It doesn't have to be a brand because I know brand you have to get a lot of product and develop the product.
Easy here. You go find an influencer online that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, that has good influence, and you partner with them and you run retargeting ads for them and have them promoted on the front end.
Damn,
Easy.
just like that. I love that. I love that.
You take your 10 grand, you invest that into the store, into like helping them purchase, like show them that they're like, hey, I'm gonna buy this product with you.
Right.
Right. Like you just go find something that's working, that works, like any brand that's working well, copy that brand the best you can and do it with the influencer where you get free traffic on the front end.
Hmm. Do you use their account to do retargeting or a separate account?
No. So like, for example, we have one of these brands right now. It's we do it's like a supplement company, right? And so, just so you guys know, you guys can go to any manufacturer that does supplements and give them your competitor supplements, and they can reverse engineer and make this exact same shit for you. There's no patent on what they use, or they can reformulate anything. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Right.
So like, you can go to influencer and say it's like gaming influencer. Make the store niche to the gaming niche. Hey, increase your accuracy by 10%, 60-day money back guarantee, whatever. Like they want to like have as your value prop. Have a really good offer, because remember, like you're getting kind of free traffic here, so you can be cheaper than your competitors because you're not going to have ad spend on the front end if you're just remarketing. Like, and then like the influencer that they know probably has other influencers they know. Now you're going and you're doing influencer launches and different collections for all their friends, and they're getting 10% of sales or something like that. So like just focusing on that and doing that, just finding that one influencer, and if you don't know any influencers, just start reaching out and saying like, hey, like do cool video pitches, like, yo, like I have a really good idea. Like this, I'll put money up for this as well. These are my results that I've had in the past. Like, even if you like had to kind of leverage like someone you worked with or whatever, and you will get someone to say yes that has influence. And yeah, it's a really good way to do it.
So actually, we just came out of the video about this topic because my brand, we sell women's clothing, and we do this a lot where we partner up with influencers and create their own collection. We haven't really got a lot into the retargeting space, but we are going to be definitely doing that. But we also, for those who are starting out and don't have a lot of budget, you can have a VA or even yourself email a ton of really micro influencers, send them free products and get them to post it, get that product going viral. TikTok organic is doing super, super well. Last things, because we are running out of time. And by the way, if you guys are enjoying this, I have a feeling this podcast is going to blow up. So if it does, we're definitely, Brandon, you're coming back on because we have to do a full one. But sure. If you guys love this, I want to go crazy in the comments, and Brandon will definitely see that and come back on with a more formulated one. But Brandon, what is definitely like so many different platforms coming out right now, right? There's like Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, all these like TikTok organic. What do you think people right now should be focusing on it? Or is this something where they need to be omnipresent? What is something they should?
Omnipresence is always the key. And fortunately, you need to have like a third party tracking. Like once you start spending money and on, we're spending like, we have accounts for spending $20,000 a day on Taboola, TikTok, still Facebook, Google, YouTube. Like all these are viable platforms. And you think about where your target audience lives primarily. Like so for our clothing brand, for example, TikTok's a great option for us. And what we're doing is I'm focused on TikTok. So all the content that I have, we're putting out if you look at our Facebook ad library, it's TikTok content. Because what I'm saying is like, hey, I only want TikTok content for this brand. It's performing better on Facebook. And by me focusing on TikTok and giving all my time to TikTok as the media buyer, I'm getting better returns and more spend on Facebook in return. If that makes sense. And like also when you have a TikTok content that does really well on Facebook, it doesn't burn out. There's no there's no organic lottery, which I call it on TikTok. Like you're basically just paying to try to get into the organic lottery of virality on TikTok. And when you're there, your CPMs drop by crazy, right? And like for like 2 weeks, and then it's not creative fatigue. You're just not viral anymore, right? You need new piece of content. Facebook's not that way. So Facebook's like those pieces of content you're making for TikTok, you can really get very profitable. On Facebook, you're not going to get like the crazy returns that you're going to have on TikTok, but it's going to be very much more stable, more consistent. So like right now, what I'm saying for most of my clients that TikTok is a viable platform for their company is let's focus 100% on TikTok and Facebook supplement, Google supplement, etc. And typically if TikTok's not viable, Taboola or like, advertorial older demographic is viable. So
what is Taboola?
Taboola is native ads. So you'll see on there like we have a sock company, for example, and it helps with plantar fasciitis. So it's like these socks are performing miracles. You haven't felt this great since the good old days, right? Like you're targeting an older demographic and you're like landing them to a page like about educating them on like what the actual, like you're pointing at their pain and the article educates them on that their pain is actually a disease.
And then we sell them at that.
And then you sell them a solution, right? So like it's a more advanced form of advertising because you're like to really be like, psychology and copywriting driven to do that. But you can also find guys you really can find guys on Upwork that can write really amazing articles for $250, $500 an article. And, test 3 of those at a time on Taboola and you'll find a winner if you're in that older demographic and you have a good offer and a good product.
Right. I love that. Very, very cool insight. It's different. And I love what you said about the TikTok side of things. Many times you can see products go viral on TikTok, even if it's an ad. And we've seen that over and over. Like many of our products went viral on TikTok and like just SEO wise, people are just searching about product and we are ranking for it and it's just getting free sales. So it's cool. It's like definitely Facebook is what we've seen is more consistent, but like you said, omnipresent and trying what works and putting your attention in the things that give you the highest ROI is the key. Brandon, thank you so much for coming on. Where can they find you on social media?
Weekend CMO on everything. So WKND CMO on Instagram, Twitter, whatever.
Everything. All of it. Love it. All right, Brandon, have an awesome day. And thank you for coming on.
Yeah. Peace, guys.
So right before we actually finished up the interview, he started talking about a topic that I really wanted every single one of you to listen to. And it was about focusing in this crazy world of social media. He also has 6 kids. Running a full-time business is not easy doing that. So I want you to listen to exactly what he told me, especially the fact that I am someone that is getting married soon and gonna have to learn how to balance my time. By the way, if you are enjoying this video so far, that like button and comment down your thoughts and questions for the next podcast. Enjoy.
So it takes 26 minutes to get into a focused mindset, right?
All right.
It's like you're scientifically 26 minutes to get into a focused mindset. So when's the last time that you haven't had a Slack notification go off, a Skype, your phone Like, when's the last time you've had 26 minutes?
Not a long. No, I'm like barely. I barely have.
What about like a movie? Have you been to a movie?
Yeah.
And then what do you say after the movie's over? You're like, fuck, it's already 3:30.
Yeah,
like, I was there for 2.5 hours. Right. Because you're so focused and engaged on the movie because you've had no other distractions. So like your prefrontal cortex is a very like lazy, it's like very like all over the place, right? So you have like different parts of your brain. So like I could be, like over here listening to a soundtrack because I've heard that, like I listen to the same track over and over again, like while I'm working because it uses a different part of your brain. Or you can like talk on the phone and iron your clothes because it's using a different part of your brain to iron because you've done that 1,000 times, but like you're focused on the conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you have a Slack notification go off or like anything happen, like my phone's in airplane mode right now, my Slack notifications are off during this interview. And like we didn't have enough time to even get into focus in this conversation.
Right.
It's possible to do because like we didn't have enough time. So like what you find is like once both people are flowing in that state and you have like your team meetings or like we have 2.5 hours of strategy for each client. Like once you get through the client call doc, which takes about half an hour to do, and we're in this focus mode, like you reach this new peak. And then the other focus is fun. Mm-hmm. Like if like you're having issues with your girl, or if you're having issues like in life, or you're just like not happy in general, like you're not going to be able to release the dopamine that's needed to get into a focused state. Right. So some people supplement this with Adderall. Some people supplement this with weed. Like it depends on like, and that's usually a sign of a depressed person, unfortunately, right? But I'll even supplement sometimes as well, right? But like then you have the other one, which is your neurodopamine, which gets released through challenge. So whenever you're on a task, you need to be doing two things simultaneously. So it's kind of a multitask when I'm telling you not to multitask, but like you need to be working on the project objectively of iteration, like how can I make this better, and also what can I try and do. Like, what can I do completely new that takes me completely out of my comfort zone that causes challenge, which releases adrenaline into your body. So you're doing those things, like it's a focus, right? Releasing dopamine, which is like usually happiness. So like, if you think about media buying, this is how I explain it to my guys. Like you get to take an idea completely from your head, bring that shit into an existence and spend hundreds of $1,000s on that idea.
Wow.
Like who else gets to do that?
That's dopamine to the next level,
bro. But like, what people like your friends, your family, when they ask you like, what do you do for a living? What if you told them like, well, like actually, I'm God. I'm a creator. I get to create things into existence and see how people react to them in real time. Mm-hmm. Right. So like that's really what you are as an e-commerce owner. Like you get to take this idea from your head, manufacture it, bring it to existence, see how people respond to it real time, iterate on it to make it better and better, but also never being comfortable with that one product and always thinking, what's the next thing? Right. What am I going to go and do uncomfortable and bring it to existence next? Right. So even if like you're thinking like in terms of like creative for that existing product, iterative creative that's already working, right? Like what's working, let's make that better. But actually like my mindset's telling me like, this is actually a really good idea. Let's run this too. And also understanding that when you first launch that new creative or that new thing, it's not going to work as good as what's working now because you've iterated on it so much. Right. So just seeing like decent metrics on that. Well, now let's get a landing page around that idea. Let's speak to that creative better. Let's speak to this angle better. What can we do with our demographics for the people in this creative? Like, how can we start iterating? Like, don't just give up. The issue is like people have something that's working and they're trying new stuff all the time and they just give up. But it's like, well, when you first launched that first thing, did it work that well when you first started it? Right. So it's like now, like you're iterating on this, iterating on that, and now you're doing something fresh and new. And before you know it, it's just like, it's like, what's that shit called? Like compound interest, right? Like it's compound idea stacking when you are doing this now for a year and you're thinking differently for a year and you're happy in the work that you do and time's flying by. Like you start working at 7 and you look up at 5 o'clock. You're like, where the fuck did my day go? Wow. Like that's how you know you're doing the right thing.
Right. And do you ever feel like you're focusing on too many things at once? How do you manage actually getting things done? Like, especially working so many different companies. How do you manage that?
So I manage my team. So I don't work on brand. I run one of our internal brands. That's it, to keep me like fresh on my skills. Right. But I run my team. So I have one-on-ones with my team and I make sure that they're in the right mindset, that they're looking at things the right way. And I challenge them. I see like in which area they're like, are they struggling with focus? Are their skills not where they need to be? Are they not happy in life? Are they like what is it that I can come in and provide the value with? And I do for my direct reports, an hour and 15 minutes every week. And for 2 levels below me, I do once a month. And 3 levels below me, I do once a quarter. And I give every single person the same time, effort, energy that I give you. Like I turn everything off and I stay focused on them the entire time. I give almost like in everything that I do, bro, like I give 100% myself.
100%. Wow. I love
Bro, then when you have kids, right? Think
Right.
about this. So like look behind me, right? Like you would almost think that I'm like stunning on my background. But so I have a gym right here. There's a gym. I have a theater and I have 2 racing sims. These things are like 10 G's a piece. I could have just bought one, bought another one for my son.
Wow.
Right. I'm intentful with like everything I do. I bought a gym, like, cause like that's like a time thing. Right. But then the theater, like I never, like when you go, we have 6 kids, it's like $200 to go to movies. But also too, like, you know, like I can get like, it takes 30 minutes to get all the kids ready. It takes 30 minutes to get to the theater, 30 minutes to get back. Like it's an hour and a half of time wasted. And I don't have that much time in my life.
Right.
Right. But I do have enough time to like, okay, I got off at 5 o'clock today. I'm going to go watch like the new Halo episode with my son. Right. Like I have like different things to do with all my kids, like individually, and give them that same, like you block it off. So you just like, you block it off and there's like no exceptions as to like, it doesn't matter if our highest paying client's leaving us. Like I have a one-on-one with my son right now.
Wow.
And I'm being like as intentful as possible. And like, even if there was an emergency, my phone's off. So you can't reach me anyways. Because I'm like, okay, well, how can I spend this hour and a half with my son or this 2 hours with my son, like the most impactful way as possible, or my wife, or whatever it is you're doing. And when you start thinking that way, you become happier. And another thing too with your focus is like, think about with your focus, when you're doing a task, your first 20 to 30 minutes of that task, your time, because you're not focused, your time awareness of the task is high, which means your happiness level of the task is also the lowest.
Wow.
You know, so like once you become more intentful with the things you do, that's what I've learned is like when you have like our schedules, right? When you can block out your schedule. And it's like, dude, like when our thing was like, I turned my shit like when at 9:30, there's no exceptions to me being late for the podcast. Like this is what I blocked it off for. And it's like, it doesn't matter like if the fucking house is on fire, like, you know, or I mean, maybe the house is on fire, but like, you know, like anything short of the house being on fire, like I'm right here.
Right.
Like 100%, like giving
100% in.
You and your audience. Yeah.
Just clearing everything out and just focusing on those tasks.
Yep.
That you do.
And then like making time for them. Like, dude, you can't get things done in 30-minute sprints. Like you have to, like, you need at least like, if I'm focused on something, I'm just focusing for like at least 2 hours.
Wow.
So off the record, like I'll typically hit the pin, like, right. I'll hit the pin and then I'll come in and I'll like spend the first 30 minutes, like maybe getting the data, like something that's like not like something more tedious that like helps me get into focus where like, cause like my best ideas don't come in the first 30 minutes. They come when I have the data in front of me. So I collect my data during the first 30 minutes. And then after I collect my data, now I have an hour and a half to just kind of like think. Right. And like, I don't have to worry about my phone going off or it's like, cause like your mind's always somewhere else. So if you keep your mind focused, it's like a meditation kind of, right? Like,
right.
Like learn to keep your mind present in what you're doing. And when you can do that, magic shit happens, bro. Cause you have all the answers inside yourself. Like if you go to see a therapist, they'll
ask you.
You go to the therapist and they just ask you what your issue is. And
they
just use Pareto's principle, like why? And all the answers are within yourself. If you could just like take that time with yourself, why isn't this working? Well, like this, why? Then you figure out the answers for yourself.
That's so true. It's just today, it's crazy how much distractions there are. No one gets that state of just focus and clearing it out. That's so.
Well, about 2 years ago, Slack didn't exist. Like you did emails with your clients. Now, now people will expect the Amazon delivery. They expect 2-minute responses. Like that's not what you get from me. Wow. Because just like if I'm on a call with you, like would you want me to be focused on other shit? Like no, man.
No, right.
So like it's very easy to explain to somebody, you know.
Yeah, and it's rare today, and people respect those type of people.
Yeah. Well, dude, much love, bro. Let's jump back on. We can go deep on something.
100%. We'll do it. Thank you, Brandon, for coming on. Let's run it.
All right, bro. Peace.
All right. Be in touch.